Nissan Stadium on the banks of the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the New York Jets. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. First carry for the former Tar Heel, Michael Carter. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important third down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
On first down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds.
Time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Kevin Farley. And the Titans are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ballgame.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And, Charles, this defense may be excited, you'd have to think, at the prospect of facing a team working on a 3-game losing streak.
But their head coach, he really kind of poured water on that in his weekly press conference, and I would say the water was cold there, partner. He told everybody, listen, everybody's a threat. We can't take our eyes off the prize for 1 minute in this league. And I know everyone watching him say it, they may not have believed it, but no one challenged him.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And
the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. On now is the Titans punter, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They go play action now. Wilson. And he finds Howard complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a big play that time by the Jets.
Well, that's something that this defense is not going to be able to allow if they're going to have success here. They've got to be able to wrap up and get guys on the ground. They end up letting him get away, and it turns into a big play here early on. I can just see veteran observers of the game shaking their heads and talking about the dearth of tackling in the game today.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Wilson. There goes a deep ball, end zone. Got a man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jets. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years. The arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. In the midst of, well, let's just say a not-so-rosy losing streak. They've got the open week, though, coming up next weekend, so you have to figure this to be a game that they dearly love to have.
Oh, indeed. They have to have it. That's something positive to take with you when you go away for a few days, and it actually releases your mind. If they lose this one, that mind stays cluttered the entire time they're away, and they've got to scramble to get back in sync when they start playing again.
He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42. This defense for the Jets, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain. And this will be caught by his big wide receiver. And he will have a Titans 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Back to the ground now. It's Henry. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
They'll buy some time right. Open space inside the 10. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll drop to throw. Steps away to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Titans are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Elliott good on the extra point, and we are tied here in the second quarter. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
2nd and 10. Now Wilson. That's caught by Howard. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Here's Wilson. And he's got the hook up to Moore.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. They'll run on first down with Marlon Mack. And some space here. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 47 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Amani Hooker. And the Titans are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. Well, they were in a great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks about the same thing each week, don't they, Brandon? They want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst, a punt. This time they had that opportunity but didn't get it.
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I
was going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Wilson. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
Now he'll throw deep left side. And this incomplete. An excellent play downfield on the football. Might have had a shot to pick it off even. But it's second down. Here's second and 10. Running from the gun with Henry. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
And this defense going to bring out a couple extra DBs here on 3rd and a yard. They're going to look to throw. He gets this one to Boyd. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And down to the 28-yard line.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On the move to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And, it's incomplete. Oh, that would have been 6 points, but somehow he couldn't rein it in. The Titans on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Escaping the pressure right. This is caught. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. A great effort there. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Titans are going to retake the lead. Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead is up to 5. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. He's going to look deep for more. And that is incomplete.
But he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had the incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Wilson. He finds his man complete. That's Howard. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end of the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this will be caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jets have once again taken the lead. Extra point by Bass, up and good. And the lead is now 2. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. At their own 22-yard line. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll set up a throw. Forced out to his left. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a 1st down.
They go play action here on 1st down. Going up top. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far. But on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll look to throw again. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. Here's Jake Elliott. Career long, by the way, for him, 61 yards. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. The kick by Elliott is good. And that will do it for this 1st half. So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this 3rd quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. The Titans hold the lead, and they'll get the football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. This one fielded at the 5. And able to get this out to the 25. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
2nd and 9 now. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40 down at the 39. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here's 2nd and 9.
Check 43. Single. Mike 41. We got to wedge that. All day, every day, any day.
Looking to throw. Blitz coming, and down he goes. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. On now is the Titans punter, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fielded just inside the 20. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. They want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. On the handoff, running left, Marlon Mack. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down. Now Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 35. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
All right, Brandon. Normally when you hear about guys making 2 interceptions in the game, you're thinking must be a free safety, maybe a corner. How about getting 2 picks out of one of your linebackers? Again, he's just in the right place at the right time. And that's another great play to come away with the football.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Got a man, and it's taken in for a Titans touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the interception by the Titans D leads to a touchdown. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 8. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll have a Jets first down as the tackle made at about the 43-yard line.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Play action. It's Wilson. Rolling to his right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, and this is one of the best runs you'll see. A lot of times on these long touchdowns, you'll say he gets into the end zone untouched, but not here. He fought his way through contact, and it barely even registered, and he just continued down the field all the way to the end zone.
Nothing separating these two sides. 24 all our score as he sends this one away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. This is caught. It's Brown. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 57 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Derrick Henry. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole. And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Steps away. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The perennial Pro Bowler Aaron Donald gets the sack. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On play action, they'll throw. They'll roll him out right. And this is going to be intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And the Jets are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. He got outside the pocket there trying to improvise, and he was calling for the ball downfield, but still the interception.
I think what happened, he did call for the ball thinking that he was open, but I think the quarterback spotted him too late. And that margin that he had on the defenders, that got eaten up, and they came up with the interception.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And the question, can they turn that interception into points? A tie game for the moment in the fourth quarter. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Throwing again on second down. Wilson, flush to his right. He'll let one go deep for Howard. And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
They've been trying and trying, but they haven't sacked him yet. He's been able to get away and make plays. Tried to make another one downfield right there, but to no avail. They'll have to keep up the pursuit, though, and not let him get hot.
To throw is Wilson. They'll run the screen with Mack. And they'll get him down up past the 15.
And partner, in a tie game in the fourth quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars. And he came through with a nice catch right there.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On 1st down, it's Mack, and he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. Here's Wilson to throw. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 11. Flushed out right. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ashton Davis. The 20.
Expect nothing less, baby. Expect nothing less.
And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Here's Bass now for the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And can they regroup? That's the question. The pick 6 hurt, no doubt, but this is still a one-score game here in the 4th. A nice run there on 1st down as Henry uses his size to plow forward. Call it a pickup of 7. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. He'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Back to throw now on 1st down. Eluding the pressure right. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the 1st, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movements. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to do what we call flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Escaping the pressure right. He finds his man Johnson. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It'll go as a loss on the play, not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. They took their shot for the end zone, almost cost them.
And he made the right play there, knocking it away. But, boy, it looked like he had a chance to come down with the football. And if he does that, this thing is over. Instead, he leaves him out there with another chance.
He'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And the Jets have just about sewn up this football game. Well, this has been a bit of a tough game to figure out when it comes to him throwing the football. He's got the 3 touchdown passes, but now, Charles, this is a 3rd interception.
And those aren't really numbers that you'd like to see balance out. In a normal ledger sheet, if you can balance everything, you feel good about your day. But as a quarterback, you need your ratio to be more like 3 touchdown passes to 1 interception.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Carter, a 1st down and more. And he's going to get this all the way up to the 30-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Yeah, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Out of the gun, they run with Carter. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
Oh, he bowls over him. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets, and it's going to be their defense that gets the ink in the headlines tomorrow, and for good reason. They forced 5 turnovers in this game.
And while we were watching this game unfold, I kept thinking about when we did our training camp tour. And something that you noticed along the way. Just about every camp we visited, when the defense got together, everyone was doing ball drills. Defensive linemen, linebackers, secondary, because they understood how vital it was to take the football away. And they wanted every opportunity. When the ball was knocked free,